Welcome to your final edition of Home Field Advantage of this season, SFA's only home for sports nationally, locally, and on campus. I'm your host, Bobby Morrow. This week, we'll be looking at the upset weekend in college football. We'll discuss the beatdown of the most dominant female athlete of all time, Ronda Rousey, and we'll discuss the state of the world and how it relates to security at sporting events here at home. All that and then some, until next season at Home Field Advantage. It was a kick heard around the UFC world. Holly Holm knocks out the undefeated bantamweight champion Ronda Rousey in the second round with a vicious left foot kick to the jaw, following up with a flurry of punches. Before the fight, Holm entered the match undefeated with a 10-0 record. 7 of those wins came from the TKO before entering the fight. Rousey was rushed to the hospital immediately after the fight to be treated for being knocked unconscious and having her lips split, which was bleeding furiously. Rousey was undefeated before the fight.
What a time to be an Iowa Hawkeye. The school made their way into the history book Saturday, thanks to the wrestling and football teams. The wrestling team beat top-ranked Oklahoma State at Kinnick Stadium before a crowd of 42,287, breaking the NCAA attendance record, previously held by Penn State, who set the record in 2013, with 15,996 in attendance. Then hours later, the 6th-ranked Hawkeye football team defeated the Minnesota Golden Gophers in a 50-5 thriller, giving them the first 10-0 start in school history and keeping their playoff hopes alive. They take on Purdue next week at 11 a.m. at Kinnick Stadium on ESPN2.
The Dallas Cowboys' playoff hopes have been completely shattered with a 10-6 loss to Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Florida. Dallas, who lost quarterback Tony Romo in Week 2 for the bulk of the season, has struggled ever since, rotating through 2 quarterbacks and not being able to come up with a win despite the return of all-star wide receiver Des Bryant, a Lufkin native. The game was held to field goals besides a game-winning touchdown run by Jameis Winston in the 4th. Dallas plays in the state of Florida for a second consecutive week, facing off with Miami this week, although they may want to consider draft position at this point.
The Houston Texans went into Cincy on Monday Night Football and came out with a victory against the previously undefeated Bengals. This was mostly a defensive battle, with backup QB T.J. Yates connecting with DeAndre Hopkins for the game's only touchdown. Yates relieved the concussed Hoyer and beat the Bengals, as he did in the franchise's first playoff game. Yes, it seems the Texans are the Bengals' kryptonite, having eliminated them from the playoffs twice in a row, and now they have taken away their perfect season. The Texans are second in their division, 1 division win away from being tied with the Colts.
Peyton Manning broke the all-time passing record, passing Brett Favre's record of 71,838 yards by 33 yards, adding more incredible accomplishments to Manning's resume. Ironically, he was later benched after throwing 4 picks and being shut out. However, it was later found out that he had a broken foot. Denver loses the affair with Kansas City 29-13, falling to 7-2 on the season and racking up their first division loss of the season.
The University of Houston remains undefeated after coming back against the ranked Memphis Tigers from down 20 right before half. Backup quarterback Kyle Postma engineered a thrilling fourth-quarter comeback to win by a point. Houston moves to number 19 in the country. They are the only undefeated team from the great state of Texas remaining, and one of only 5 remaining nationwide. The Cougs have been mentioned for an opening in all of the Power 5 conferences beside the Big 12.
The rest of the world in college football saw quite a shakeup in the polls, with powerhouse losses such as Stanford, LSU, Utah, Baylor, all of whom were previously in the top 10. Despite Iowa remaining undefeated along with Oklahoma State, and the two remain out of the college football playoff, once again showing no love from the Big 12. Not to mention there are 4 undefeated teams and 4 playoff spots. The 2 most storied franchises in college football history, Bama and Notre Dame, remain in the playoff bracket with 1 loss. It seems as though the committee respects tradition over perfection.
SFA's men's basketball is having an eye-opening start to the season, and not in the way you would hope. The preseason favourites to win the Southland and shake up the tourney once again have fallen to 0-2, being blown out by Baylor and losing to Northern Iowa on the college basketball tip-off celebration, only this time away from home. The most popular team on campus returns home to face off against LSU Shreveport after falling to 0-2 on the season.
When we come back, we'll take a closer look at judo at SFA, and we'll have Under Armour All-American Brandon Jones join us in the studio. Stick around.
Whether someone is walking on the sidewalk by the road, making their way home from school, or simply reaching their car on the parking lot. That person is in risk of being attacked out of nowhere. Fortunately, something can be done. The SFA Judo Club is dedicated to educate students on how to defend themselves through a focused technique and consistent drills.
If I'm being attacked and he swings at me, boom, there it is. Okay? Okay, all I want to do is blend with his motion. And step over here and there it is.
Judo means the gentle way in Japan, as in to perform efficient throws based on technique and timing rather than using strength alone, so that any student of any weight, of any height, can practice.
I came in here thinking I'm too small, I'm too weak, but over time, I've been doing this for a year and a half, I've gotten a lot more physically trained for it, mentally trained for it. I can take anyone from this high to this low. It really doesn't matter what size you are.
School, I took a judo class, like a self-defense class, and one of the instructors thought I was doing pretty good. So he said, "Hey, where are you going to college?" Told him I was going to SFA, and he says, "Oh, they have a great judo program." So we had the involvement fair, and I met the president, the vice president. They seemed very enthusiastic to have a new member.
Practicing judo can help prevent students from being assaulted on campus or near their homes and feel safer when they are by themselves. And that's not the only benefit.
It keeps me from getting too stressed out for work, for school, or life in general, so that mainly motivates me to continue this relaxation.
It gives me a lot of self-confidence whenever I'm around more people or if I'm in groups. It helps me to feel more calm in every way.
It's not too late to start learning judo. For more information on the club, you can go to their Facebook page for details on how to apply. For Home Field Advantage, I'm Pili Galindo.
I'm Brandon Howard. Today we are with Brandon Jones, 5-star athlete, corner, safety, quarterback for Nacogdoches High Dragons. How's it doing? How are you doing today, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Was it tough to get you out here, or was it?
I mean, not really. I mean, I had workouts today, so I kind of fit that in. I did the workouts and I went to go eat and stuff. So
I really appreciate your time.
no problem.
So tell me, you know, I know your season just ended, but you know, what were a couple of things that you know you're going to look back on in your Nacogdoches career and you know and really look at and say, you know, I'm going to miss that, or you know, things that you're going to cherish from your Nacogdoches time?
Being in the locker room with all my friends and stuff, and it's going to be something new that I have to adapt to. But you know, I'm kind of up for the challenge. You know, ready for something new, and you know, for the next level, just to see where I stand.
So, what are some of the factors that will really play a part into your college decision? You know, like pros for the most part.
Right. You know, factors for me playing college is you know, I'm really big on atmosphere and environment. So somewhere that's like home, even when I'm not home. You know, and then also playing time. I really want to go to a place to be able to play. I'm not too into being the red shirted and stuff. So I just want to be able to see the field, and also just being able to go to a place that my family's a big part of my life. You know, so I just want to make sure they'll be able to come see me wherever I am. You know, if I get homesick or whatever, I can easily get back to them. You know, and also just a place where I can go, even if I didn't have football. You know, I could just see myself being there for 4 years. You know, just minus the football aspect. Just a feeling that that I feel is right for me.
Now you're part of the Under Armour All-American game.
Right.
You know, I don't know if they've done your selection yet, but since you did your selection, you know, and have all that going forward, what do you think about, you know, the opportunity to play in the Under Armour All-American, game?
Right. You know, the difference with the Under Armour All-American game in the opening, you know, just with the Under Armour game, we'll be full pads, you know. So, and you know, a lot of like I said, the top guys will be there as well. And I mean, it's just for me, it's just it's a chance to, like I said, see where I stand right before I head to college. You know, just to see where I stand with all the athletes and stuff like that, and just have the full effect instead of the opening. You know, because we'll be full padded and stuff like that. So I think it'll be a good test just to see where I stand and how I fit and if I'm ready for the next level.
What negatives and what positives would you take from the whole recruitment process? You know, maybe a coach emailing you too much, or maybe a coach showing up to your house with dinner. I don't know. Would you be able to elaborate on that?
Yeah. I mean, most of all, it's it's a positive, thing about it. Just, like I said, just getting the chance and just being able to be where I am today, is the true blessing, that, like I said, every kid doesn't have, this opportunity. I mean, the pro side is we get recruits get, 3 free tickets, to go to any game you want to. So, I mean, that's kind of a good thing, and I mean, I actually get the chance, on officials when they pay for everything, just to get out to some places that I normally couldn't do on my own, some far out places, which, gives me a viewpoint of, the rest of the world that I haven't been able to see. And the negative aspects would be, just coaches. Once senior year started, in November 1st, starting September 1st, coaches are able to call once a week. So that's been, a little crazy because I get phone calls, DMs, all that stuff from coaches. And then December, they can start actually coming to my house, which, it's going to be different. But, that's the only thing, and just the recruiters and everybody, I try to, make a time for recruiting, and then, just a time just to enjoy my life. So once the two mix, it's kind of a little aggravating at times, but I try my best and do a pretty good job at just, balancing things out.
Definitely. So whenever you look at your offer list, you had 40 plus offers, and so for a lot of kids, that's a tough decision.
Right.
And somehow you've driven it to a top 6, 8 per se, with likes of Oregon, Bama, A&M, Texas, Ole Miss. Who am I missing? Who else do you have?
LSU.
LSU.
You get
Baylor, and well, good luck to that school, whoever they are. Yeah, we don't want to leave them out. But how'd you get to your top 6, 8 group?
What I did was, I mean, at one point, I started with my top 10, and I just made my list from there. But I don't know, it's just it was easy to make just because of I have different relationships, and I pretty much shared the same similarities with each school. I have a really good relationship with all the coaches. I've been to all my top 6s, all the campuses besides Oregon. I've been to every other school, and I don't know. It's just like I said, what I based my top 6 off of was environment and how I feel like when I step foot on campus. All those schools, I just felt like home. When I stepped on those campuses, and then also all those schools I could all the coaches have told me I can get playing time and stuff. So that's really kind of opened my eyes on that part. And all of them just being really prestigious schools. And I know it's kind of all around, SEC, Pac-12, Big 12. It's all over. But those are most of the schools that I've that I came to get to the top 6, and just hopefully just lower it down, lower and lower from there.
Definitely. Well, we look forward to seeing you on the field. Brandon, I really appreciate you
problem.
coming in and
Thank you for having
interviewing
me.
with us. Again, I'm Brandon Howard, reporting for the Crew, and now we're going to shoot it back to the studio.
Welcome back to Home Field Advantage. I'm joined today by my colleagues Thomas Martin and Corbin Craver, and this is the debate portion, but we had something happen this past week, and this is what we're going to start off. Something happened this past week that shook the world. Paris was under attack this past week, and there are things that that coincide with that in the sports that we are going to be covering.
Totally.
Yes.
So it's a tough one. It's one of those things that you speak about with a heavy heart. But let's try this. Let's talk about it. Let's see how it coincides with sports.
Well, I know they're boosting up security at all of the NFL games, at least this past week, and I personally think they should do it until the end of the season, or at least till the rest of the world settles down.
I could absolutely agree with that.
And also, I think security has already been tight in America already with NFL games, basketball games already. But since the incident happening over in Paris at the stadium, as the event occurred, I think afterwards it'll be not as tight as it is, but 10 times tighter.
Are you okay? So you're talking about the event. You're talking about the soccer game.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that was France versus Germany.
Yes.
And there was somebody that had a bomb on them. They tried to get in. They were stopped by security, and then the bomb was detonated outside the stadium. And there is a chilling video you can see of
you're talking about the explosion?
Well, the game you can see the game going, and then you can hear the explosion. And the players' reactions, it's bone chilling, honestly. You see it, and it's just you just know that they know.
And ISIS is trying to target, Western civilization in general, our ideologies and what we stand for, and football is definitely one of those things that's up there and something they definitely disrespect.
Absolutely.
So, you got 80,000 Americans all in one place together, drinking a bunch of beer, eating a bunch of food, watching some good old football. Where else better if you're, an extremist Eastern religion than to target them? So it's really good that they boosted up security.
And they found out that person who was going in was actually trying to get up to the president's suite somehow, and he was going to blow up the whole president's suite and kill the president of France.
Jesus.
Yeah. So thank goodness for that security guard that stopped him and prevented him from going inside. But
definitely,
there's still stuff going on. Germany has had a lot of threats of the same magnitude. There were threats on the Germany-Holland or Netherlands soccer game that was going to be held in Germany. They canceled the game completely.
Yeah,
because they heard they heard there was a small chance. Absolutely, they should have. Absolutely, they heard there was a small chance that there might have been another bomb being detonated at that game. So they prevented that one from happening if it were to happen. So thank goodness for that as well.
Yes, thank Lord.
So now that we're past that, let's go on to something more on the home front.
Some college football.
A little lighthearted now. Yeah, so let's talk about that college football. The undefeated teams, because there are quite a few.
Yeah, there's 3.
Yeah.
And there's only, 2 games left in the regular season?
Yeah, I believe. Well, it depends on the team, but yeah, because the bye weeks and all that. But I have Iowa, U of H, Oklahoma State, Ohio State, and Clemson, all still without a loss.
One interesting thing about that is Iowa and Ohio State will eventually have to play each other.
Absolutely.
So one of those, that's going to be fantastic. The Big Ten's got a lot of big games coming up. With Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa coming in there, and then the conference championship. You have Michigan State still in the mix. That's going to be an interesting conference.
It's definitely going to be a great conference to watch.
I think Oklahoma is definitely sending a message with
Oklahoma or Oklahoma State?
Oklahoma, period. They took down one of the top ranked Baylor, recently, and also Oklahoma State, still undefeated right now, took out TCU. I mean, moving up the ranks as always.
I'm personally happy that Oklahoma and Oklahoma State are doing so well, regardless of the fact that I'm a huge Longhorns fan. One, if Oklahoma makes the bracket, then, hook 'em horns, we're your one blemish on your record.
Hey, yeah, that's a good thing to say.
2, with 2 big powerhouses, besides the fact that they're from Oklahoma, that puts the Big 12 out there like they haven't been last year.
Yeah, they've been lacking. They've been seriously lacking.
They need a conference championship,
yes, they
honestly.
Do. As a Texan, it's tough to see these Okie teams do good, but it goes. It's nice to see,
But yeah,
they're still kind
of. But they're our next door neighbors, though.
Yeah, they're that neighbor that you don't really like very much. But you still go to their Christmas party, so.
Houston's still undefeated.
Yeah, Houston's still undefeated. Though.
Yes.
And that's on the home front here. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Now I love them to death. Houston, great team from Houston. But when they try to play one of these Power 5 conference teams,
we'll see.
We'll see.
They'll probably make one of the New Year's 6 bowls.
Hopefully.
If they go undefeated and they win the American Conference, it's typically
let's just hope they don't lose to one of these small teams.
I'm willing to bet my money on Houston, though, still. Because I'm a Houston fan.
Wait, for what? For everything.
For the playoff?
Yeah,
don't say that.
I'm not going to say they'll go to the playoffs, but I'm willing to bet so far they will still remain undefeated at the end of the season.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty tough to slow them down.
Yeah.
Good thing about Houston, though, they have 4 of the 5, ironically not the Big 12. Power 5 conferences have been talking with the negotiations for Houston.
Oh, they're trying to get them to join.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
so
that's interesting.
If they can keep it up, then
that's
one day they might be in the
give them that
bracket.
door.
That's a lot of money they can get from them too.
A lot of money.
So now we're on the subject: college football playoff picture.
All right.
This is always, I love the new playoff system because it's really something you can really debate and get into and talk about.
Something
other than a computer just telling you who's going to win.
That's what I hate right there is the computer.
Oh my goodness.
So we have Clemson, Bama, Ohio State, Notre Dame in that order.
Yes, we do.
How do y'all feel about the 2 one-loss teams on there? Given that we have 4 undefeated teams in the country right now.
Yeah,
I think Clemson has earned their spot. Ohio State is lacking a little bit, so I think they need to go down at least maybe like a couple. And Alabama still being out there, I think they deserve at least close to maybe like 4 or 5.
Yeah,
Alabama does?
Even with that SEC schedule.
they still got some good
they've
teams
been playing
coming
some
at
hard teams, but they've always been put up there, and I think that they should at least probably be at least at 4. Because they've always been put at a very high rank just because it's Bama. I think it's best. But now I'm not saying they haven't earned so far, but I would probably put them at 4.
Now my issue here is Notre Dame.
Me too.
it's no secret. All my friends know. Everyone that I talk football with knows me. I don't really like Notre Dame. Never really have. It's the whole independent thing, not being in a conference.
Well,
I don't really like that.
Their schedule is weak.
Exactly.
They're not playing that many good teams.
They don't have a conference schedule. They're playing just other independent teams. Navy, that's an independent team.
Navy's not too bad right
they're
now.
Not horrible,
they're sitting at 7-2, I think.
But they're not Alabama. You know?
They're not. They played UT at the beginning of the season. I mean, look at what they're. Look at where UT is.
Yeah. So I mean, Notre Dame, they're not undefeated. I'm sorry, but I don't know. I don't see them making the full playoffs.
I would put Iowa or Oklahoma State. Obviously, Iowa or Ohio State, one of them's not going to be there at the end. But at this point, I would put Iowa or Oklahoma State in front of Notre Dame for sure.
Yes, I agree with the Iowa statement. Yes, they still fought on, held on, and they have moved up. Right now, they're at number 6. I would probably put them close to around maybe at probably at 5, if not 5 right now.
Yeah. I didn't see Iowa coming for it, but they're doing it, so good on them, right? Now, huge thing in sports this weekend. Ronda Rousey.
Yes.
Wow.
That happened.
Wow. She got knocked out in the second round.
At least she made it to the second round.
Yeah,
for the first
somehow.
time.
I'm sorry.
That's a very rare thing, too.
She took a beating. That was
gruesome.
It was a great. I mean, it was a great fight for me. I love Ronda Rousey, but to see her lose, it's kind of I don't know. It's bittersweet.
Part of me wants to say she's overrated because she was going into this game 12-0, 13-0, and this girl that played her
she was 10-0.
Yeah, she was 10-0.
7 were TKOs.
So we have 3 more games, or 3 more wins than Ronda does. I mean. But Ronda also has been finishing people quicker than anyone's ever seen in history.
That armbar in the first round took out many of people.
I mean, she didn't make it past the first round in any of her fights except this one. So I mean,
but what took Ronda down, I believe, is the psychological mentality that all individual athletes have to have.
I can agree with that.
Yes,
I can absolutely agree with that.
Because all the fights I've seen, she's going with a straight face. She stayed focused. She's trained hard. She's never bragged one bit. She said she's just going to go in there and do it. She said she's not going to win completely. And recently she made the comment saying that I'm going to win. Period. It took her off her focus. She got that feeling that athletes have that that they're feeling calm when they're on a roll, and it let her guard down.
Let her guard down. That's a great way to describe it.
That's a good way to put it.
And Holly came and she
took advantage
of that with a foot to the face.
No, it was three punches and then a final foot to the face.
Yeah. So that was great. But let's move on to the NFL now. There's still some undefeated NFL teams. We're going to do it real quick.
2. Thanks to Houston.
Yes.
Shout out to the Houston Texans.
Oh, yeah. Are we all Houston fans? This is great. All right, that's awesome.
I'm a big Houston
Deal with it, Cowboys fans.
Now, Houston and TJ Yates beat those Cincinnati Bengals. That was awesome.
I'm having some nostalgia right now.
Oh, yeah, right? Going back to the playoffs when he beat them.
Besides that, Carolina and New England. How far do you think they're going?
Carolina, I don't see him going undefeated the whole way.
You don't?
I don't see it happening. And
defense?
Even with that defense, because Cam Newton, he's Superman. He's self-proclaimed Superman. But
and that's why he will bring them along further.
Weren't you the one saying it's a team sport thing?
Yes, I was, but I've seen more. I've compared the Patriots' performance so far and the Carolina. All right, Carolina has put more of a fight than the Patriots. Patriots almost lost, if I'm correct.
Carolina's almost lost as well. And I mean, you're talking about Golden Boy Brady. You're talking about Tom Brady, the GOAT.
I think, like I said, all right, Carolina, they're not going to make through the regular season undefeated, and I feel that the Patriots are going to lose maybe in the late round of the playoffs. Thank you so much for being with us for what was an incredible inaugural season. We'll be back next semester with all of your latest SFA, local, state, and nationwide sports news. I'm Bobby Morrow. Until next time, this is Home Field Advantage.